Hello, hello, and welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity, Continuum, Aeon, Luna Rocks. I am your story guide, Scott. Today we have Puka playing Mycelian, Diane playing Frankie, Nigel playing Bram, and even though you can't see them, Murphy is playing Hannah. We've just had some camera issues, but that's okay. It's been a hot minute since we've played this game. Real life is a thing, y'all. So I'm going to start us off with a recap, both for our viewers and our players' benefit. When last we left our Moonpunks, they were embroiled in multiple levels of conflict against the Doyen. On the one, they had started the process of building and planning their Bang Show, which will be in conjunction with multiple other Bang shows across human space being tied together through psionic teleportation and clairsentient power. They were also directly in conflict with the Doyen because one of them had taken over Frankie's cousin and was holding her father hostage until they gave back the apostate. The young, or maybe not young, but it's definitely different and not liked by its own kind, Doyen named by the group Jersey. With the help of an assassin, a capital A assassin, being paid for by a mysterious coin that had been given to Frankie by her father. The group stormed the moon palace of her crime boss father, and drove away the Doyen, being able to save both her father and her cousin, who was going to be kind of left out to dry in a pretty spectacular fashion. But you guys managed to avoid all that. However, the last thing that happened was the large group of guards and mooks who had been prevented from interfering with this conflict have now made their way into this room and are pointing guns at all of you. Your father is unconscious, Frankie, so you don't know if you can rely on him to stop this. Your cousin, who is also presumably considered to be somewhat in charge, is not in a good state. What is everybody doing in this moment, as there's a lot of guns and shouting coming your way?
Frankie is going to step up and basically step in front of the group and basically try to diffuse the situation.
Okay, are you being persuasive about this, or are you trying to command the situation?
Um, no, Frankie's a commander. She's basically going to pull her weight as, I am the daughter. You're going to listen to me. As you can see, they are fine. You need to stand down.
Okay, give me a command roll. There is going to be a 2-point complication on this, because there's been a lot of strange and conflicting orders and setups. Your father's men are very confused at the moment. So if you do not succeed, if you do not overcome the complication, at least a couple of them are not going to be on board.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, does name in the lights and striking looks apply?
Um, I would say probably name and the lights would apply, given that you're on the stage. Your fathers have conditioned all of his men, all of his subordinates, to not think of you as a sexual object in any way.
Probably smart for them.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. Oh, it's been a while since I've rolled anything. All right. I'm going to use my presence, which is 5, plus my command of 4, plus name in the lights, which I can't remember if that gives me.
It probably gives you enhancement.
I think it gives me, yeah, I think it gives me 2 enhancement. 1 or
Yeah.
2 enhancement. I have to go look that up. It's in the
Probably
core on.
two sound. We'll go with 2 for right now.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm rolling 9 dice.
Impressive.
All right. Should have pulled up a dice roller sooner. Don't mind me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's see here. 10s explode, correct? And it's 8 and
Yes.
aboves.
Mm-hmm.
That I have 4 successes, re-rolling 2 dice. 5 successes with 2 enhancements. 7.
Okay, that's great. That is more than enough to succeed on the difficulty and buy off that complication. So, um, give me some juice on that. How did this? What do you say?
Frankie, probably for the group has seen Frankie step up into a leadership position more than once, but it's usually been as a front person. For once, you actually see that underneath the flighty sort of exterior that is normally who Frankie is, that there is a brain that is underneath there, and one that looks every part to belong to a crime family, as she literally just steps forward and cuts a glance that would literally cut men and women in half, or them in half, whoever gazes upon her, as she literally just looks down her nose at them and she goes, "Stand the fuck down. I know you're not pointing that gun at me. You know who I am. You know who my father is. As you can see, the situation is at hand. Put your weapons down."
And there's a little bit of looking around. Like some of the people like seem to be not immediately following orders, but but after just a few moments of some corrective looks and gestures from the people who are on the same page, yeah, everyone puts their guns down. People start they put their guns down. A couple people goes to your father, a couple people go to your
Yep.
cousin, and you've established order in the room. What about the rest of you? Mycelian, were you here? I forget whether you were here or not.
You're, are you muted?
Yeah, we're not hearing you.
Oh wait, are you here?
Wait, no, I don't think. Wait, no, you're not.
Huh.
Oh, well, that's strange. Okay, well, Mycelian's not in the room right now. We'll hopefully get that. Right. Oh, never. Hold on. Let's give me a moment to fix this. Bram, what would you be doing?
I had a plan, but given, well, first of all, Bram is stock still. Like he's been in more than a few gunfights, several that did not go his way, with gentlemen exactly like the and ladies that are very much like the guys here. So he is doing his best to shrink while not moving a muscle. First of all, if I recall correctly, in the fight, I don't think I had anything to do with my gun. I think I was using just pure psionics.
Right.
So I don't have my weapon drawn. I had wanted to see if I could dampen some high emotions, but when I see that Frankie has managed to kind of get everyone on board, I kind of just want to wait and see what happens. Because Bram's of the opinion that if I do so much as fart too loud, these guys are gonna open fire. Like, so I kind of don't want to.
Okay. So you're just yeah. Go ahead and give me an integrity roll,
Okay,
just to see how well you're doing that.
I can do that. I will roll um, uh, cunning integrity. So that's going to be 6 dice. 6 d10.
That's 2 successes.
Okay, yeah, you're able to maintain that composure and not make of yourself a target or a problem. So hopefully we resolved Mice's issue. Can you hear me, Mice?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Huzzah.
All right. So, same question that I asked before. Were you here? I forget whether you had came here or not.
I don't think Mice was there, but I can't remember if Mice was nowhere near there or Mice was just trying to be the last person to enter the room and hadn't made it in yet. I think it might have been the latter.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, we'll just say you're here now that things have calmed down. Like you can tell that there's probably your life is probably not in danger at the moment. But would Mice also just be trying to be inconspicuous and not draw attention to themselves, or would you be trying to do something else?
No, 100% trying not to draw attention.
Gotcha.
With that many guns around.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And what about Hannah? What would Hannah be up to in this moment?
Hannah drops her gun on the ground and kicks it away, and just kind of starts moving towards Frankie's father, and just looks at the guys like, "I'm a medic. My kid's in this bag. Y'all can shoot me if you want, but I'm gonna be tending to him." And I go start checking out his dad unless her dad unless one of them shoots me.
Okay. They do look to Frankie to get a response about that.
Frankie nods and basically is like, "Let her pass."
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, are you just gonna first aid check him over? Do a medicine roll or something like that, or are you gonna use
I have. Sorry, I moved the machine, so I lost my page. The vision that you get with the iatrosis, that lets you look at people.
Kirlian eye.
Yeah, I'll turn the Kirlian eye on, but I can also do a medicine roll if I need to.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me the Kirlian eye first.
Sure.
So that's psi plus highest Vedikinesis mode.
That is 3 successes.
Okay, let me just see if there's anything I can do here. Okay. You can tell that he is under a mental condition that is essentially just blocked out his consciousness. So he has been taken out. He has a couple of his bruise levels filled as well because he's been battered around a little bit. But mainly he just sort of has this. And it is definitely a psionic sort of lingering thing. He'll come out of it eventually, but it is something you could remove. Although because it's taken out, it would be a lot of effort on your part to just remove that. But he will come to eventually.
Okay, yeah, I basically pulled a stethoscope out of my bag so I at least look like I'm using mundane stuff. But I just yeah, he'll be all right. He'll come around in a bit, I think. Yeah, looks like he got a bump on the noggin. All right here. And I kind of feeling over. I'm looking up Frankie and the soldiers.
Will you check her out too?
Yeah.
Do you also want to do first aid on her father? Because he is, like I said, he's got a couple of actual injury conditions on him as well. Yeah, so that'll be a medicine roll.
That is 2 + 2 enhancement.
Okay, yeah, you are definitely able to patch him up, get him on the road to recovery, at least on a physical level, and you think probably in a couple of hours that mental condition will fade. You gonna do the same to cousin Maria?
Yep.
All right, yeah, go ahead and give me that Kirlian eye roll.
That is 3 this time.
Okay. She's a little bit more rough. There is like she has that same condition on her that has like taken her out, but there is nastiness inside of her. There is some like for you. It's kind of like she's been poisoned, but it's not a biological poison. It's some sort of psionic poison in her that will, like, you can tell that it is damaging her with a not like a super quick interval, but she's probably gonna if this is not cleared up, she will die because this is not something that pretty much anything other than Vitikinesis can clear up.
Okay. Should I just take a guess as to what I should do with that?
I mean,
or,
you know that your mending ability could take care of it.
Yeah. She needs a little more help. Frankie, we cool if I just look at Frankie? I kind of like point at my temple a little bit and look over at the guys.
Yeah, you can give her your special treatment. It's fine.
And then I immediately do so.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll for mending.
Yep.
Well, if that doesn't work, I would want to know if perhaps some of my quantikinesis could do it. Specifically, I have I've got conversion and destruction. Could I convert or destroy the psionic energy that is affecting her?
Well, I got 4 successes.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah, you are able to clear away that condition, no problem. Like, you probably could have done something with that, Bram, but Vitikinesis is the tool for this job. But you could have done something with that. But you know, Hannah is just able to send some healing energy over Maria, and that's taken care of her immediate threat. Something everyone can like notice around this time is that your hired hand and her associates are just not here anymore.
Oh, that's fine. They can go.
Like, no, you don't remember seeing them leave. No one gave them any gruff. No one asked who they were. They're just not in this building.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah, I mean, so you've got like, there are definitely people who are like next in line in terms of the authority structure here, who would be perfectly able to take over and like if you wanted to get out of here, Frankie. But as long as you're in the room, people are taking their cues from you.
No, Frankie is not leaving right now. And she'll turn and look at the group and she's like, I'm gonna be here until he gets up, okay?
Well,
They
let's
need
get him
me
somewhere
here.
comfortable, and I'll help him, and I'll see if I can speed him along a little.
But I understand if you guys need to go. But I'll continue to work on the show from here. But we can get him into his bed at least and get him situated. But I'm gonna be here until he gets up.
All right,
I
you
don't.
two help me get him up to his room. You go get a glass of water and some aspirin or whatever we have in the future. I'm just basically taking over, giving them jobs.
Okay, yeah, I mean, as long as you seem to be with Frankie, and you have got the doctor authority, they will listen to you. So yeah, he gets picked up, he gets moved. Maria similarly gets put into a room where she can be made comfortable. You know, you can tell as time goes on, the questions behind everyone's eyes are starting to build up. Because things have obviously been weird for the past couple of days, but no one has broached the subject yet.
Should I do another mending on him to try to? I'm going to go ahead and try to do that to wake him up sooner, so he can take
Okay.
over for Frankie.
Yeah, so that will take a certain number of successes to clear the taken out condition.
Well, I doubt I got him. I got 3.
Let me see here.
Let me, yeah. I can change it up to.
Mice
Yeah,
hands
yeah, it takes
hand a pill bottle.
yeah, it
Give me
takes
2 of these.
it takes 5 to hold on.
Yeah.
Terminal injury. Yeah, it takes 5 to clear that. But you're able to patch up his other, like, you're able to, like, completely clear away all of his bruised energy. But yeah, it's gonna take some time for that to be resolved. So Frankie, what are you doing? Are you just like staying next to him? What are you up to?
Yeah, I know who like my dad's usual right hand man is.
Mm-hmm.
So I am basically she'll put the running of the daily business, so to speak, in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's any like big decision, it needs to come through her and her dad.
Okay. Yeah.
But basically, she's going to be in the room tending to her dad until he wakes up.
All right.
Because if anyone's going to explain to him what the fuck just happened, it's going to be her and not from someone else.
Fair enough. What about Bram? What are you going to be up to?
I'm assuming the rest of the security guys, the security detail kind of has like a perimeter established. Like they've got their own.
Yeah, they have their own routine, their own protocol. It just kind of got upended for a couple of hours,
Right.
but things are seeming to going back into how things are supposed to be.
Am I able to be with Frankie in her dad's room?
Yeah, you can be with him.
Then I kind of want to post up at the door on the inside
Mm-hmm.
and just like mostly trying to put out feelers psionically to see if there's anything lingering or anything trying to like sneak its way back in or around. And forgive me if you went over this in the recap. Did we completely destroy the Doyen?
No, you drove the Doyen away.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Also, while we're doing that, is Jersey still with Mice, or did we put him back in the bang board back at the hideout?
I think Jersey's back in the bang board.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of just want to like post up and be doing like psionic sentinel.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. What is Mice up to? How are you reacting to all this?
Just kind of observing, and as soon as things have calmed down and Frankie's dad is being moved up, just being like, "Y'all good? Everything okay? I'll get out of the way." All this kind of familial drama combined with gunplay and telepathic monsters from outer space stuff is a little bit, outside my experience. A little bit, not too much, but all's good. I'll just go back to the pad.
Yeah, I was going to suggest one of us needs to go make sure Jersey's all right. This wasn't some kind of diversionary measure or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I got stuff over there I don't want him getting into. Just stuff.
All right, call us right away if anything's awry, unless you want company. But I kind of feel like I should stay around to make sure they wake up all right.
Sounds pretty awesome.
You are given an escort out from the compound to the nearest public transit station, and are able to get back to the crash pad without any incident.
Woohoo!
Yeah, Jersey's there. He's in the bang board. It's kind of glowy and a little bloated, as it normally is when he's inside. Doesn't seem like there's been any disruption or incursion into this space. But yeah, when you get back in contact with him, he's very eager to hear what has happened and the status of how safe he is.
He's uncomfortable in the bang board, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's not the greatest place for him to be in terms of his comfort.
I will invite him to get back in my head.
Okay, yeah, he will
just
pop out and slide back in,
it's like sneezing in reverse.
a little bit, I suppose. Yeah. So what has happened?
I try to form a mental picture of as much as I saw,
Right.
but
Yeah.
probably it's just the tail end.
Yeah. You open that door. He scans your memories. He's like, that is yes. That would if you were able to bring that much ability to bear, them running away makes a lot of sense. Which probably means we have at least we probably have a little bit of time. If what I can surmise, being spooked like that is not a good thing for us, and so you probably have a little bit of time to plan. Although there are two others, so we'll see.
Well, when you say a little bit of time to plan, I mean, I have to say, Jersey, you're kind of a cosmic being who thinks on the scale of eons. So when you say a little bit of time, are we talking hours? Are we talking weeks? Do you know what a week is? Should I explain a week?
No, I'm aware of a week. I have been in your minds enough to accumulate yourself to myself to the time frames in which you deal with. I will say weeks, but with some caveat. I mean, it is as likely in my approximation that when the other two learn of what has happened, that they will get similarly spooked and they will all retreat for a time, or they will treat that incident with scorn and redouble their own efforts.
But you think we're safe at least for tonight?
Definitely for tonight. Definitely for tonight. They will need to discuss and plan for at least a few days. But my estimation is a few weeks.
Well, as long as everything's cool for tonight, you want to help make the most kick-ass bang show that's ever kicked anything? And Mice will pull up the rig and like open up all the holography stuff.
I mean that is our method of attack, is it not?
Cue montage of
okay.
teamwork.
All right, so we'll get back into the rules of this. Okay, actually, I was redoing some math. I watched the last part of this, but I just wanted to clarify some math issues. Mice, do you have path dots in Bang Artist and or Wonder Root?
I have path dots in both.
How many?
2 each.
2 each. Okay. So that is okay. Does anybody else have path ratings in either Bang Artist or Wonder Root?
Yes.
Yes.
I do not.
Okay. Frankie, how many path dots do you have in Bang Artist?
I am looking. I have 2 in Bang Artist and 1 in Wonder Root.
Okay. All right. So that is all right. And what about Hannah? What do you have?
One in Wonder Root.
1 in Wonder Root. Okay. So because only the second dot in either Bang Artist or Wonder Root counts, that means hold on. So you basically have 3 additional phantom members, which let me do the calculation because Mycelian had roped in one of his path contacts.
Yeah, and so did I with Marty.
That's true. Yes. So let me do some calculation there. So that is 8x3. Jesus Christ. So you have 24 moments in which to achieve 12 milestones. So essentially you have 24 rolls to achieve success on 12 different milestones that you have to accomplish. So you're at double, which is a pretty good spot to be in. You can always, as things are going, because this is more of an extended thing, if at any time you want to reach out and try and bring in some more assistance, we will be able to handle that. But for the right now, you're at double your moments over your milestones, and you've already achieved one moment. So you've already achieved one milestone. So your guys you're sitting pretty good right now. So if I recall correctly, Miss Celine, the last time you were just basically building kind of a tech base for
Yes.
like getting this started. So you have that established. You have kind of like your like you have like you have your Google Doc filled of like what do we need, like how are we going to approach this, what are the technical requirements that we need to sort of get this thing started. So what would you try, what would be the next thing on Mice's list from that point?
I think so. When I brought in the path dots before, I think I brought in the junk dealer
Yeah.
just to get equipment. So if I've already tapped him, I think for now, Mice is just going to start trying to put actual machines together, like some kind of bespoke equipment that will generate the signals that we need.
Okay. All right, cool. So that's going to be a technology roll. You get 4 enhancement from that. And there's been some rules clarifications, some rules updates, and I'm going to go ahead and apply those definitely for this. So in terms of enhancement, your highest source of enhancement is going to be what's going to apply. So if you don't have anything that gives you more than 4 enhancement, well, actually, wait a minute. You increased your side rating, didn't you? So now I have to redo that calculation. Gosh darn it. So you have a psi of 4. 4. Hannah, what's your psi?
4.
4. Bram, what's your psi?
3.
3. And Frankie, what's your inspiration?
My inspiration is 4.
4. Okay. And that's the average. No. Okay. So yeah, you still have your source and bonus is still 4. So you're gonna have 4 enhancements this roll unless you have anything else that gives you like a 5 enhancement from a single source. You'll only be getting 4 enhancement on the roll.
I wish I have a couple things that I think would give me 1 or 2, but
yeah, no, we're gonna go with highest because they've sort of clarified that recently.
All right, I'm gonna do cunning plus technology.
Yeah.
That's 3 successes.
3 successes, and with your 4 enhancement, that beats the pushback difficulty of 6. So yeah, you are able to achieve another milestone, and you actually have built sort of you've built the bespoke parts. You built you put the plan into action essentially and started to building that. Now, I will say from this point on, since you have that established, those sorts of milestones aren't going to be applicable. You'll need to be doing more like the creative work, the promotion, that more things. So you've got the technical aspect of it locked down. We will move back to the Valens estate. It's been a few hours, and your father, Frankie, is starting to show signs of rousing consciousness.
Okay. Basically, she's gonna be there as he wakes up. She's letting him wake up on his terms, not really like forcing him awake.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, she's sitting in a chair near his bed, kind of looking at her phone, and when she sees him start to wake up, she kind of focuses back on him.
And what about what are Bram and Hannah up to? Are you just going to be like sitting and watching, or what's the plan for that when he starts to wake up?
I'm gonna be. I think I'm just gonna kind of stay at the door.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to be. Ideally, I don't want to be in like his line of sight. Like I don't want me to be the first thing he sees.
Sure. Yeah. No. Frankie's pretty much situated herself so that she's in that cone.
I imagine he probably has a pretty big bedroom, so I'm gonna find like a love seat or something to take a nap on.
Okay.
So I'm probably sleeping.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. And Bram, you have not detected any telepathic or otherwise psychic disturbances. They seem to have truly fucked off. But yeah, so yeah, he's coming to, and eventually he kind of like coughs a little bit, and like with a very sort of hoarse voice, just kind of starts to form words a little bit, and just says, what happened?
Do you want the short explanation or the long one?
It's kind of fuzzy. Let's go with the short for now.
You were attacked by an alien that took over our cousin's brain, or my cousin's brain.
Okay. So,
And I hired one of those assassin people to come in here to take care of the problem. And me and my group scared the alien off and were able to save you and even our cousin, or my cousin. That's a short story. When you're ready, I can go into details because you're going to want to understand fully what's going on.
Even that was a little bit too much to focus on, but I get the gist. Okay, was it one of them kin? They're the mind readers, right?
Mm-hmm. It was something that has tried to remain hidden, and the thing that has influenced it's a really big, long story. Unless you're ready for it, I would say let your head prepare a little bit.
No. I'm. It's real hard to focus. It's been dark, and I've only gotten flashes of things over. I don't know what day is it.
She'll tell him.
He kind of like, you can tell he's focusing a little bit. He's like, it's been about 2, maybe 3 days, I think.
That sounds about right. The alien was in all honesty, the alien was targeting me and my group.
My God, Frankie, what the hell have you gotten yourself into?
About to blow the powder keg on a humongous, wide kept secret.
Oh my God.
He probably hears that was probably like I woke up to hear that and just he probably heard me snickering on his couch.
But you gotta. Well, shit. Well, they've attacked us, so they're our enemies now.
Oh.
You got that right, Mr. Frankie.
You kind of like.
Valens.
Mr. Valens.
So, we can't let that stand. You tell Giuseppe if you need anything. Yeah. You know what? I need to talk to Giuseppe.
Yeah, I have him out there currently running day-to-day stuff for you. Do you want me to go get him?
Yeah. Get him in here. Get him in here, and this is gonna. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm gonna feel this way, but yeah. Get him in here.
I got you. She'll basically step to the door, kind of nod to Bram, and then kind of stick her head out and talk to the guy on the other side of the door, telling him to go get Giuseppe.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a bit of telephone that gets happening, and eventually Giuseppe shows up, and he says, "My daughter tells us we've been attacked by something alien, and that she's got she's got a lead on it. So while I'm in recovery, if she needs anything for this, she's got it. And I trust you to take care of the rest while I get these cobwebs out of my head." And Giuseppe just kind of nods and like nods to you, and says, "Well, Miss, you're free to stay here for as long as you want. Your friends as well, but it sounds like you've got some work to do."
Oh, you have no idea.
And he gives you he gives you like a contact number,
Gotcha.
that's basically a business line.
Yeah,
Since you've never been in on the business, you've never had a business line.
correct. Yeah.
But now you have a business line to call. It says, "Yeah, we can't let this sort of shit slide. So whatever if you need something, you let us know."
Will do. Um, basically, she's gonna spend a few extra moments with her dad, basically,
Yeah.
until she's sure he's okay. And she goes, "When you're ready to hear the whole story and you need to hear the whole story, let me know and I'll come back. This isn't a conversation to have over a phone."
I get you. I get you. It sounds like you've got your hands all over this thing. So yeah, you hit them hard. Okay, you hit them hard for us.
Also, I can't remember her cousin's name at the moment.
Maria.
Maria. Maria's gonna be okay. Don't hold it against her.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have a talk. We'll have a talk.
Yeah, I just don't want anyone beating the crap out of her when she was taken over by an alien.
Yeah, you know what? We're hard like that, but there's certain degrees of reasonability that have to be applied.
I
I need
I just
to
wanted to
I need
tell
to get
you.
some rest, sweetie.
Yeah, you rest. If you're not feeling better, give us another call. Hannah here is a great physician.
Yeah, I've written down my contact already, and I put it in a couple of painkillers next to his bed. Yeah, yeah. You call me if anything happens with you or Maria, and you can't get a hold of Frankie.
Will do. Thank you so much for your assistance. We owe you one.
I nod and go ahead and wait out in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. He seems to be like getting back to rest, into a resting position.
She'll basically tuck him in and then give him a kiss on his forehead.
And he'll settle in. And as you're sort of heading out, uh, he kind of lifts up a little bit and says, "Abraham,
Alright.
you got it back, right?"
100%, sir.
"Good man. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, I'll open the door and kind of look to Frankie like, is she gonna come or is she gonna stay?
Oh, she's coming.
Okay,
She's coming.
then yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are also given an escort out of the compound back to the public transit. Are you guys gonna head back to meet up with Mice, or do you guys have any other business you want to try and accomplish?
I think we're gonna
Yeah.
head back to Mice.
Yeah. I'll I think I took it down. I'll reestablish our psionic link
Sure.
so we can communicate on the train in private.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that.
So I hope that I am half as that tough when I am that age as the old man, Frankie.
Yeah, there's a reason why people don't fuck with him.
So, what's our game plan? I mean, I know we got the Bang show to do, and there's all sorts of stuff going on with it.
I mean,
But
that's the current plan. If
do
that's the
we
one way to strike at them, that's what we got to do.
do we stay where we are? Do we move into the family's house? Like
I think
Do
we're
we
fine
need
where we
to?
are.
security wise, they got a whole lot more guys with a whole lot more guns.
Which
Yeah,
didn't
fuck
do
all it did for them.
exactly.
Maybe. I mean, it's true. And tactically speaking, each one of them kind of represents a vulnerability in a funny way. So fewer people surrounding us in immediate proximity would theoretically be an asset.
Also, I look at it this way. The only person who's the true liability right now in our group is me, since I'm the one who doesn't really have a way to protect myself against them. You all will at least feel it coming and be able to do something. I won't.
No, you got to stay close with us then.
Yeah.
So I think that we are best staying where we're at. If they know who we are, they got all the information, they're going to know where the safe house is and everything else. So there's not really a point in, other than we can go to one of the other safe houses. But again,
Yeah, I mean, you guys have
Actually, that,
all of your equipment is at the crash pad.
yeah.
Like you guys have a lot of infrastructure there. So if you wanted to move around, you would have to uproot a lot of stuff and but yeah, that's up to y'all though.
So that does raise some interesting questions. I want to ask Mice a few things and Jersey a few things when we finally do get back to the pad. See if we might be able to figure out some way of making it perhaps a bit more obvious should an attempt be made on any of us, our brains, so to speak. So,
what do you mean?
well, like, I don't know exactly what happens when a doyen does to someone what they did to your cousin. Is it like complete and total takeover? Do they get access to all the memories? Is there any part of them that can resist? Is there some sort of time dimension to it where it's not like an immediate thing, or maybe it grows stronger? I don't know. Barring anyone else, Mice and Jersey are probably the best folks to ask. I mean, Hannah, I know you've had them in your head too, but it was voluntary, as it is with Mice. So I don't know if there's a different way that they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's being polite by asking, I guess, and also, like Frankie said, we can defend ourselves at least a little more readily, maybe.
Well, the thing is, though, if the angle of attack is such that we could have some sort of warning system, an early warning system, like, I don't know, everyone wears a bracelet, and when you feel something hitting, you tear the bracelet off, or something like that, like
That's not
something
bad.
that could be a signal that doesn't necessarily have to be, I don't know, something that could happen quick, innocuous, that sort of thing.
No, I like it. Maybe we should do some testing with Jersey if he's willing. Have him try to take over my brain against my will and see if I have time to respond by taking off a bracelet or some other quick signal.
Yeah.
I also want to, reiterate that we really need to get the show. The sooner we can get the show up and going, the sooner we strike at them at their heart. So,
In that case, how about why don't when we get back, why don't you? I look at Bram. Why don't you work with Jersey about trying to figure out some more than we can know about this threat while the rest of us get to work on the show.
I'm good with that. I mean,
I-
there's only so much I can do for security,
I mean, that's fair. I don't mind focusing on the show. That's honestly where my skill set is. But I just know that we need to get that show perfected and out there as soon as possible. We are now on a hard time limit.
And we don't know what that time limit is. So let's get to work.
Yep, you are able definitely to get back to the pad where you can fill in mice and start cooperating on all that good stuff.
When you walk in, you see this giant banner painted with rainbow letters that says, "Behold my ungodly machines," and then lots of contraptions.
Yeah, Mice has been hard at work building kind of like all the gadgets and projectors and things specifically needed for this show. To remind the viewers and ourselves, I believe this show is like kind of like a living storybook gallery where you guys can let people can like walk through like images and scenes that they can like, and it all kind of builds together to work up to this big reveal in kind of this holistic multimedia like explosion, if I recall that correctly. That's the plan, right?
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, so they have got all that good stuff taken care of. So like I said, you've got 2 out of 12 milestones set to go, and you have 22 moments left. What would everyone like to do?
Well, Frankie is going to start work on the whole. Basically, is going to start working on. I guess the proper terminology would be like the whole. I guess the content of the bank show.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So we generally know what that's all about. So that's going to be a culture roll, just like start getting the images and the pros and all that stuff together. Go ahead and get that established.
Cool.
Any chance that one could assist?
No. These are
Not really.
milestones
Okay.
you basically have to accomplish them by themselves because it's assumed that you are all working on various different things as a part of doing this. So it really comes down to individual effort on individual topics.
Heard. We have momentum currently, right?
Yes, you guys have
Should 4, I think.
currently 4 momentum.
Are you guys okay if I use a momentum? This isn't my strongest roll.
You too.
Use
Yeah, cool with
2.
that.
Use 2. Heard. Okay. So I am rolling 8 dice. 10, 10, 5, 2, 5, 2, 4, 9. So that is 3 successes, and I am re-rolling 2.
Okay. I mean you've got it with the base momentum from your source pool.
Okay, cool, because I didn't get any extra successes.
Yeah, you definitely have it. So you overcome that momentum. You've got basically the book in theater terms down.
Nice.
There's definitely going to need to be more like work. You're going to have to record. You're going to have to like record some line readings, some like and there's also going to be live parts of this. Like definitely there's going to be kind of like a big number that you can that you're going to have to sing, but that'll be a part of the premiere. So that's another milestone down. What about Hannah? What is Hannah working on?
I am going to ask Jersey to work with me as we basically going to like talk about how that initial vision they showed us made us feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to try to use the connected with the betting board, be able to share that feeling out with an audience. So I'm going to be basically practicing on evoking that along with the imagery that Frankie is working on.
Okay.
I'm going to hope empathy will be what I can use.
Yeah, I will say that empathy will apply to that kind of effort of just really trying to work on conveying your emotions along with Jersey's like information based off of it to kind of give everyone like the clear impression of how big of a deal this is.
Yeah, the emotional impact of it, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's knowing the truth with your mind and then there's feeling it.
Yeah, you
Going on
can
that one.
definitely get some practice in on that.
Yes. All right.
I have a follow-up after this,
Okay.
potentially.
Okay. I guess because we're not playing, I can't activate many frequencies. And...
No, and it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be the highest applicable.
Right.
Source of inspiration, which you've got 4, which is pretty good.
Oh. Okay, that is 6 successes plus the 4, so that's 10 total.
That is 10 successes. That is fantastic. So yeah, you kind of really get into the groove on, you kind of really, in terms of this specific performance, you do some trial and error, like channeling Jersey's like a wealth of knowledge to your sort of very, very human understanding of how to channel that out and how to interact with the bang board on this sort of like very complex psionic emotional level. And you think you've pretty much got that down. Mycelium, you said you had a follow-up.
So basically, and Hannah talking about empathy reminded me of this. I'm trying to think of a way to, in addition to projecting to the crowd the emotions that we want to convey, essentially creating a feeling of like cohesion within the crowd, if that makes sense. So it's not just each individual person feels like I'm receiving this emotion. I want everyone to think we are all receiving this together, you know? And I don't know, I'm looking at like, I have a specialty in group dynamics, I have rapport, and I have presence, and I'm trying to figure out a way to like bring those all together.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that would be either a culture or a persuasion role to kind of like massage the message and like have a very sort of unified vibe towards it.
Okay.
What is that what skill is that specialty in?
It's actually under empathy.
Empathy? Yeah. So yeah, you could definitely make like a persuasion roll and apply that empathy specialty. How many dots in empathy do you have?
I have 3 in both.
3 in both. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, that. So because we're going with the highest empathy roll, that won't apply. So yeah, you could like I said, a culture or a persuasion roll to kind of get that message. To fine tune the message to add that element to it.
Yeah, and like during the actual show, I might try and do something a little more active. But just
that'll be a good thing for the premiere.
All right, just gonna go for it. So that's 2 successes, and then if there's a bonus from the specialty.
Yeah, no, you get the 2 successes plus the 4 enhancement from your source rating. Yeah, so yeah, you kind of. You're kind of like, you're seeing what Frankie's working on, you're seeing what Hannah's working on, and you kind of add your own kind of melding of the two to kind of like get those 2 artistic currents working together.
Peace and love, people.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bram, what about you? Now, I will say like getting security together would be another milestone. That if you want to try and accomplish that, or if you wanted to do something not necessarily directly tied to the project, you could also be doing that. So what are you up to?
I would like to first try and see if I can coordinate with Jersey.
Okay.
And see if we can figure out some. Can we like workshop some specifics about Doyen possession?
Sure. I mean, probably the first step to that is feeling what it's like.
He doesn't want to hop at me.
Doesn't he?
I'm the one that's got the destruction.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't want to, but like, I'm saying like that is the thing. Like, if you want to try and find a way to like deal with it, you need to know what it feels like.
I know, but like, so I'll talk to him. I'll be like,
talk to him.
Yeah, however much you want to do this as a scene, we can.
He said, so yeah, go breach the subject with him, and we'll see how it works.
Is he currently in mice?
Yeah, he's currently in mice, but you know, he can come out. if you want to have that like direct conversation with him.
Jersey, I got a question for you, man.
Yes.
So I need to know what it is like to have a Doyen attempt to possess me. I need to know what it is like, and I understand, given my recent acquisition of certain abilities, that you are hesitant to do that, and I respect that. I am asking as a favor if you feel comfortable with it to try and do that. I need to know what it is like so I can try to plan in case we are attacked in the future.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay. Let's see. I'll do cunning persuasion, which is 5 dice. And I don't think any of my specialties apply. So, yeah. Excuse me, 5 dice. 5, 8, 6. Literally anything. Nope. Not a botch, but a failure.
He says, that is, yes, I would not be necessarily comfortable doing such a thing. Let's, do you want to feel what it's like to be possessed, yes?
I do. I want to see if there's, to give you an idea, should there be some sort of attempt, we want to know if there's something we can do, not even to fend it off, but at least signify and notify that the attempt is happening. Like an idea that I had was perhaps we can all wear some sort of innocuous piece of clothing or jewelry that we could quickly remove as a way of indicating I have been attacked by a Doyen, so that there's no confusion or question. We don't have any of that. Oh, is this really the person? It's like, no. If that has happened, then we pull out mind bullets and then we deal with the problem directly.
Okay. I can do this. But I cannot say that if I feel an attempt to struggle or if there's some sort of mental conflict happening. I know myself well enough that might trigger a panic response in me. So I will do this, but I ask you to just let it happen.
We'll agree to this.
Yeah. Yes. That is probably, yes. Just let it happen. I understand that you also want to I will understand. I think now that I know intellectually what it is that you're trying, if you want to try and do that sort of warning thing, I can compartmentalize that. So if I see you trying to do that, I'll know what you're doing. But just do not keep me out.
I will do as you ask.
I want you to know is because if I'm going to be that close to you, I want to be in control of your capacity to harm me.
I understand. I look around. Is there like a something I can use as a makeshift bandana?
Yeah. There's like scraps of cloth and like things so you can like tie something around your wrist or something.
It'll be like a wristband.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Innocuous. It's like the lunar equivalent of a Live Strong band or something. It just looks like an innocuous fashion accessory. And I'll just kind of sit down. I'll sit down on the ground and I'll be like, as you will, in your own time, sir.
Okay. So. As long as you will not be attempting to resist his possession of you, the roll will be cunning plus integrity.
Okay.
To try and get this done, when you feel it happening.
Sure. That's a 6 dice pool. 3 successes, 2 of which are 10s. So that's 3, rerolling 2. Nothing. So 3 successes total.
All right, and I'm going to make a roll. Okay, yeah. You start to like, you feel your vision start to like rapidly narrow. And like you just sort of like feel this like suffocating pressure start to come down, and you are able in time to rip off the bandana before you just sort of enter this very like floaty dreamlike state where you kind of lose track of the plot.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, anyone observing this just sees like him go a little bit. You see him go a little bit rigid. You see him like rip off the bandana, and then he just sort of sits back and relaxes and starts looking around the room, just a little awkwardly.
Well, I mean, now, first of all, I don't know if he's been in any bodies that have had missing components of their template, but Bram is missing a finger.
That's true.
And Bram has cyberware as well. He has the radio.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, he's just kind of like patting himself a little bit, and probably unless someone like snaps their fingers at him and tells them to get out, it takes a little bit longer than one might expect, given just the experimental. Like maybe a couple of minutes would be reasonable. He takes about 10 minutes before he relinquishes your body and pops back out.
Can I, during the course of this, I understand that I lose track of the plot. Do I get anything from the outside, or is it just like I'm asleep?
It's like you're asleep.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. No, that's wild. So, does he vacate?
Yeah, he vacates. Like you're like I said, you lose track of it. You're not sure how long it was. I mean, you're sitting in the same chair. So you're sitting on the same couch, in the same room with all the same people. So it's obviously not like a radically different time span. But you're not exactly sure how long it was. You come back from it.
And I look down. It's like, okay.
Yeah. That might not work every time, especially if you're going to try and fight it. I proof of concept.
Yeah, that at least shows that it can be done. That's something. Did you get a chance to like investigate my own abilities at all, like from your point of view?
Yes. With the exception of the manipulation of quantum forces, I'm quite familiar with all the things that you can do.
That's right. Science kind of universal, right?
Somewhat. I mean, there are recognizable. Well, I mean, as opposed to use the human term, aptitudes that definitely have their own pattern of energy to them. But yes, no, I mean, the basic patterns of psi energy flow are shared amongst many species, at least so I understand.
So wild. Well, thank you.
Yes.
I understand. I work with dangerous things all the time, so I really do appreciate you trusting me, and just thank you. I feel a little better and more secure about all of this now.
Excellent. Yeah, he just says, I will be around. And he just kind
Of course.
floats off a bit. So we'll move back to Frankie. So with kind of the book established, what do you work on next?
Basically, the next thing she's gonna work on is flow.
Okay.
So we have the book there, but now she's working on how things are going to flow from one to the next. Basically, the planning out of the live show.
Okay. All right. So the live aspects of it. How in your mind, how does that work? Like, how does that
I kind of view it as she is basically putting, like basically stage notes, stage directions. She's working out, the show's going to open with this, then we're going to bring up this part, then this part. Kind of like, because I know like the opening show might be more guided.
Mm-hmm.
While you're talking, I'll start like making. I'll get out some sticky notes and start basically mapping on the wall what you're doing, what you're saying.
So she's basically putting the outline to put the flow and to work in when up to the big reveal, so to speak.
So this is a bit more logistical than like the basic kind of like ideas. So we're gonna go with humanities for this one.
Maybe I'm not the best person to do this.
Would you like me to do this?
You should probably do this one, as I have no humanities whatsoever.
All right. So Hannah, are you gonna manage that one?
Sure.
Okay. All right then, Frankie. Think about what you want to.
Think about what you did.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be a humanities roll.
Mind if I use one of our momentum?
Go for it. We got a momentum back from Bram's fail anyway.
Yeah, you did.
Well, it's a failure and a botch.
You still get a momentum for that.
Oh, nice.
We just get 2 if it's a botch.
Yep, I only got 1 success, unfortunately, so I think that is not.
Okay, yeah. So that is going to be your first failure on this. That does eat up a what the heck? Hold on. That does eat up a moment, but does not succeed a moment. And yeah, so I am going to put you guys kind of work yourself into a logistical dead end, and it's the kind of dead end where it's going to take probably as much work as it did to get you into it to get you back out of it. So for the consequence of that, I'm going to add a milestone to the track. So yeah, you just like you have a plan in mind, and you get far enough into it before you realize how unworkable it's going to be. So yeah, so that is you're going to have to repeat this milestone.
Gotcha.
And it's going to add another to the track for the failure. But that does also add a momentum to your track. All right, so Frankie, have you thought of something, and/or has Mycelian thought of something?
I mean, I can try the humanities roll if we're okay with her.
Yeah. Someone needs to do it, so.
Yeah. All right. So wait, how much momentum do we have at this point?
You currently have 3.
Permission to spend 1?
I will remind you, you can choose to spend it after you roll as well as before it.
Good call.
So, just in terms of efficiency.
Right on. All right, so with humanities, 2 successes, so maybe I'll spend 1 momentum.
Well, no, with the 4 enhancement, you do hit the difficulty.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you don't have to spend that.
that.
So yeah, Mycelian, you kind of like. It's been a hectic days, and Hannah was a bit more involved with the violent aspect of what happened. Yeah. So you just kind of like take the project off their hands, rework it, and are able to get it into an actual workable scenario.
Let me realign your vibes, friends.
Okay, and Frankie, have you thought of something?
Yeah, I think what she's actually going to work on is the actual. I know it sounds weird, but the actual live performance part of it.
Okay.
Like what they're actually going to do during that time, or what we are going to do during that time. And this is the one that's going to basically lead up to the reveal, and then she's going to work on the reveal part separately.
Okay, all right. So you're going to work on the build up part of it now.
Yes.
So all the live aspect of it. So you've got all the pre-recorded stuff planned out, and you've got the logistics of that taken care of. Now you're planning like the big reveal. So that will be a culture roll.
Gotcha. I do have some culture, so that's good. I'm assuming I can't use my presence, but could I use my manipulation?
Yeah, you can use manipulation as you're like trying to like think out and yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. I thought so too. I just wanted to make sure. All right, so I'm rolling 7 dice. I have 3 successes and rolling, which means because I have 2 10s.
Okay. I mean you got it.
Cool.
So you're able to like move on to the next stage of the project, which is planning out that aspect of the reveal. So that is another moment down and a milestone succeeded. So you are at 7 out of 13. And yeah, we'll move back to Bram. Do you want to start working on the security, or what are you working on now?
Yeah, security.
Okay.
Let me think of what I got. So I know that this is going to be taking place across multiple locations.
Yeah. So
ideally, I can really only deal with the security of my particular location.
Mm-hmm.
But there is going to be co-location. So I'm going to try and approach this from the point of view of more like establishing a perimeter
Mm-hmm.
that is as impermeable going in as it would be going out.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that is going to be a difficult thing, given that like all of these spaces are kind of going to be merged. Like, because yeah, like you guys are responsible for your part of it, which
Right.
you guys have a space, but there's going to be people coming in, merging in from other places and other solar systems. So are you focusing on like the physical location that you guys are dealing with, or are you like trying to set up some kind of like teleportational barrier?
Physical location.
Okay.
The idea being that once they can get local, they still have to deal with the natural quote unquote Warren that is Luna.
Yeah. Okay.
So ideally, what I'd like to do, we are using our bang space for this, right?
I believe that was the plan. Yeah.
Given my growing familiarity with it, both the normal level, but also at the noetic level, I want to start working with essentially whatever built-in infrastructure level technology is there to make like essentially redundant like locks and traps, such that if anyone tries to leave the immediate area, then they're going to start running into like just doors and pressure interlocks and like fail-safe tripping that will just slow them down.
Okay. Yeah. So that'll be a technology roll.
Okay. Would my larceny lock specialty apply?
How many dots in larceny do you have?
3.
3. So that would only give you 1 enhancement. Your best enhancement is going to be your source, the one from source. So that's a 4 enhancement. So the highest one applies. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no tech, but I have 4 cunning, and that's what I'm going to try and use.
Use momentum if you need to.
If there is any left, I'd like to use some.
If you don't have any tech, if you don't have any dots in the skill, you cannot get enhancement on the roll. Do you have any survival?
No.
Okay.
I got integrity, larceny.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, with traps, I can make traps with larceny.
Okay. Then I won't get the enhancement, but I'll at least have dots.
Yeah.
So with cunning.
Well, you get the enhancement from your source, which would be the 4 that would apply. But you
Sorry.
won't. But because it wouldn't matter at that point.
Okay. So 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7d10.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling. 1 success, which is a 10,
Reroll it.
which is a 1. So 1 success on the roll.
Okay, so that only brings you up to 5 successes. So if you'd like to spend any momentum to get any to roll additional dice,
How much momentum do we have?
We have 3. Go for it.
May I use 2?
you may use 2.
Fine by me.
Rolling 2d10. One of those is a 10.
All right, you got it then. Okay, yeah, so you hit that difficulty. So yeah, you basically you work up a plan to hem in the space with traps, doors that don't go anywhere. Make it a more controlled space. So that is another moment and another milestone. You are at 8 of 13. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take our break. So y'all think about what other kind of things you want to get involved, and we will see you guys in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity, Continuum, Aeon, Lunar Rocks. And we have half of the people on camera now, which is an upgrade. Fantastic. All right, so when last we left our moon punks, they were deep in the midst of planning their bang session. And it has been a flurry. You guys have been burning the midnight oil. As Frankie has mentioned, you're on a timetable. But you guys are starting to feel, even those of you who have like psionic vitality coursing through them, you're starting to reach kind of the end of your reserves, and it's time to take a break.
Mice actually has the go all night edge.
Oh, that's true. You do, don't you? Okay. Well, maybe Mice can Mice can get a little bit of work in then.
Edge comes in pill form.
I believe is that from. I know I wrote that one. I think that's a one. Is that a Wonder Root one? The Wonder one for Wonder Root?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know I wrote it, but yeah, no, that's applicable. So yeah, but the rest of you are beginning to feel the human need to rest starting to creep in. Is Mice going to keep banging away while the others need to take a break, or are you going to rest with your crew?
Yeah. I won't work on the project, but one thing that Mice actually wants to just kind of do is, if possible, use some technokinesis on the bang board and just kind of explore its workings, since that's going to be a primary interface through which we're doing this show.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can check it out. Yeah, go ahead and make a technokinesis plus psi roll.
Okay, let's see how this goes. All right. 3 successes.
Okay, yeah, you definitely start to get. I mean, this is a pretty. In some ways, it's very simple, given how complex this kind of technology can get. But it is a very advanced biocomputer, effectively. Like it's a mixing board, like AV setup. But like the most intriguing part about it is the interface that taps into its attuned users' clairsentient visions. That is incredibly complex, because there's a lot of bioprocessors that have like not necessarily intelligence to them, but a lot of like brain like mechanics to them, like that kind of mirror some of the more like right-brained human activity, brain activity that interprets and extrapolates this kind of like abstract information that clairsentient really kind of like dumps into it and then like reinterprets it in a way that can be projected outward. So you kind of like spend a couple hours poking at that and really kind of getting your head around how that works. And like you like this is the kind like now that you're like sort of understanding what it is and how it does, like this is actually pretty a lot of people might get kind of concerned and upset if they understood how this worked.
It's not an AI, we swear.
It's not. It really isn't, but it is a piece of technology doing very human things.
Yeah. If I can push it a bit further, I might try and use access and just see what happens when I make it do certain things. Even though I'm not clairsentient, I just kind of want to see what its capabilities are.
Yeah, go ahead and make the roll for access to see if you can get into it.
Let's have a look. 3 8s and a 10. And the 10 is a 6. So
Okay.
4.
Okay, yeah, you kind of get into its processor. Like you kind of like take control of its like what aspect of it are you trying to control? Like what is it you're trying to make it do?
I guess in particular, I'm curious about how it can generate like the sort of visual and auditory, the sensory stuff that we will need, like the actual energies that it's going to be outputting.
I mean, okay. I mean, you understand. I mean, like I would say, you have an understanding of how this doing it. I mean, like I said, it uses a lot of like cognitive function to extrapolate out and interpret that, and it does not have like photokinetic capacities or that sort of thing. It does just have like it just has outputs to the kind of machines that you've been working on. Like it has like AV outputs.
So
like,
making it visualize rather than project.
Yeah, exactly. Like it,
Okay.
the actual translation into equipment is pretty standard. It's just like a lot of like the extrapolation and the reformatting of the clairsentient data into a different format. Because normally that plays on the machine inside a clairsentient's head, and it's oriented to sort of that sort of very personal kind of internal imagery. But like mapping it out to a holoprojector takes some like it's kind of like how an AI like in our day would take an image and reformat it to like a different resolution.
Okay. Mice is
But are you
taking notes in their head.
But are you going to try and make it do something with the access that you have?
I mean, if I connect it to one of the holo projectors, can I get it to make things?
Yeah, you can get it to make things. It would be kind of weird. Like you can get like like an image that you have available and try and like get it to process it like it was a clairsentient vision.
Yeah.
And like see how it morphs and extrapolates from there. And if you try and do that, it is. I will say, like, if you do that, like, the results are very similar to what like AI reinterpretation technology that we have today. It takes it and it makes it look weird.
Yeah. I think I'll test it with a couple like images, and then I think the end goal that Mice has is really to kind of just try and fine-tune things, flesh things out, so that whatever Hannah is projecting into it, if Hannah's going to be doing that it's got packaging around it.
So you basically like train its AI a little bit more.
Yeah,
okay.
To make atmosphere.
To make it more atmospheric and sort of give it more of the Wonder Root style.
Yeah, and also just a pair of iridescent cat dragons dogfighting in zero gravity for shiggles, because why not?
Yeah, man, that why not? But yeah, so yeah, everyone else, you just need to take a couple hours rest before getting into it. And I will say, even though you probably don't need to get more like backup mechanically. Some of the other milestones that you could get would be like bringing in some of your allies to the project. Getting assistance from
Yeah,
the
that was
people.
what I was supposed to be doing next, is getting residency on and
Yeah.
Marty. Well, she's already working. They're already working.
Yeah,
on
Marty's already in it with you. Now I will say, since Rising Sion is a bang group, they would be considered backup, and they would add to your multiplier and get you in. But they would also take a point of your clout, which is kind of like what you get out of it. But like, so you can do that. You can make a roll to make that happen. But mechanically, that since they are a bang group, that would have a different effect as achieving a milestone.
I'll consider on it.
But you guys have plenty of other like people that you know, and like forces that you can call on for resources and assistance. Actually, let's if someone wants to make an enigmas roll to kind of like plot out next steps, I'll allow that. This won't be a
Sure.
milestone, but if you guys want to like get some input on what you think that you might be able to do,
I got enigmas. I'm good at that.
sure.
I'll make that roll. Sure. Let's see here. My enigmas is 3. And I guess I'll use my cunning, I guess would be the best way to do that.
Hmm.
Enigmas and cunning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Roll. 10, 9, so that's 2 successes, and re-rolling my 10. 8, 3 successes.
Okay. So you kind of like sit back and you think you're actually like thinking like, okay, what can go wrong here? Like what are we missing? What can really go wrong here? And the biggest thing that can go wrong here is if the Doyens show up. Because that fight was pretty rough, but 3 of them, like you don't want to think about 3 of them showing up, even if they're like in possessing people. So you're kind of like racking your brain of like, what's our contingency plan for that? And I will give you, that's your core clue on that. You have 2 questions that you can ask in terms of how to resolve that issue.
Okay. To the group, before I ask a question, I'm thinking maybe we could work something out with Jersey, or I don't know who else we would ask. Thoughts?
Ask about how to fend off a Doyen.
Yeah, basically able to. What's our contingency plan if they show up?
Maybe Marty would be someone to ask.
Well, Marty's already involved.
Oh,
And Marty just found out about the Doyen.
True.
Well, we know one person we can ask, I guess. But
Wait. In our revelation, we did see what happened to the quantum kinetics, right?
Yeah, you're aware of what happened to them. But well, no. You saw that they got that the reason that they were exterminated was that it was because of Doyen manipulation.
Right.
I think you found out through talking with the assassins that they have quantikinetic clients, which means there are quantikinetics left, but those like you're not certain how those two data points meet up.
Right.
And I don't think we have a contact with any of them.
No.
No, but I mean, we do have some contacts within some of the orders, including, Mr. Herzog. Um, eh, Maybe he'd be willing to put us in touch with some of the other surviving quanta kinetics, see if we could maybe cut a deal, have one or two of them around that could be extra muscle in case the Doyen decided to show up. I mean, believe me, I will do whatever I can, but one was tough, three, oof.
Remind me, who's that person you're talking about? Herzig?
You remember
Oh.
that time we was some stuff happened, but then it didn't because he went back and made it so that was all just something he
Right.
That's who.
The old guy.
Yeah, I
the
thought-
Herzog.
The old guy we haven't met in this one yet.
Yeah. But I will say also, from what you understand, him being a proxy means he is probably one of the most, the Doyen keep tabs on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he might not have the capacity to resist them. Because of Doyen fuckery.
Right. That's what
But I
I
will
was
say that.
thinking.
But yeah, so you have two questions you can ask about how to make that plan. And I'll go ahead and say that's one of them. Like, if you wanted to ask, because I did give you some information there, yeah, you could reach out to the Herzog, who is like the proxy that you know. But the counterbalance to that is, it would probably be very dangerous to bring him in.
Gotcha. Ow!
Uh-oh. Did a kitty misbehave?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, so that'll be one of your questions about that possibility. So something you could do, but there's a lot of hanging danger over that.
Yeah. That is an innately dangerous option.
Got it.
Unrelated, but did we ever get those people that were trapped in that simulation out of it?
Not yet.
Nope.
We need to do that. All right, back to work.
Oh, right.
Nope, that's one of my aspirations.
Me too.
Some other stuff came up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have one question left if you want to ask that.
Oy.
Clanging and banging.
Yep, it happens. I'm a visitor.
I have a weird question to suggest, but
What is it?
would any particular kinds of mind-altering substance help or hinder Doyen taking over people? Mice is just thinking about their possible contribution.
Dramatically appropriate.
You got a one-track mind, Mice, but I respect your commitment.
You
My
could
mind
ask
is multi-track. Should they all go in the same direction?
that could be a question you could ask.
I mean, if you guys want to, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's a solid a question as we got.
All right.
Let me see if there's anything in the books regarding that. Otherwise, I'll just come up with some bullshit.
Everybody take 2 acetaminophen.
Moon aspirin.
Yep.
Sorry, let me see.
I'm still engaged in the rest of this session, but I just want you to know that some part of my brain is going to keep looking for moon-based pharmaceutical puns.
Fantastic. I love it. Yes, there would be something. There would be some sort of chemical substance that you could maybe get your hands on. That like, it's kind of a mixed bag because the way it functions is it kind of like it kind of removes some like internal filters of your own mind to kind of like fill your thoughts up with junk. That makes it harder for telepaths to sift through and get a hold on your mind. But it does it is something of a deliriant.
May not be the best if we want people to like, get everything.
Get everything and retain the memory and act appropriately in response.
Yeah, I don't know if we could master the whole audience.
Yeah,
I mean-
ethically, that's a bit of a
Not so great thing to do. Yep.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, we can go ask. We can ask Jersey what he thinks, what they think.
Yeah, you could talk. You could ask Jersey.
So I think that's what she's gonna turn and look. Basically, I don't know who's hosting Jersey right now.
Jersey's kind of free floating at the moment. He understands that you guys are kind of busy, and he's like he'll flit into the bang board and spend a little bit of time there. He'll just kind of like be as small and inconspicuous as a glowing ball of protoplasm can be, but he is easily addressable.
Cool. She's kind of like looks over and she goes, "Hey Jersey, if you wanted to protect the I guess the best way to put it would be if the other Doyens show up, how's the best way to plan some defenses for that?"
For that matter, how would they show up? They try to take over somebody who's already there, or show up at somebody they took over outside the show.
They would likely come in a host. They would not want to approach an area of engagement in the raw, as it were. And I have been picking up on your conversations about this sort of thing, and quantum kinetics would be effective. And I'm very loath and hesitant, and it is only my knowledge that my capture would not be a good thing for me in many different ways. But if you really wanted something to counter the Doyen, an aberrant.
We don't have an aberrant lying around, unfortunately.
We might know someone who does.
You have got to be kidding me.
Are you talking about calling up? Who are you talking about here?
Your buddy, the one we owe some information to, or do we give them that information? I don't remember.
Nala from the Nova Corps group, I believe is who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think they are harboring aberrants with them, but
No, but if there's a person who would know anybody, that's them.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie, that is a line to cross, maybe.
they also might not like that we are going public with this. Well, I can't remember if it's been a while if we actually told them we were going to do this, or if we've been keeping them in the dark about our big announcement show.
You have not contacted them since this plan has formed.
Okay.
I think it might be if we. All I'm saying is we're doing something big and crazy anyway, right?
You are technically correct.
And part of the whole thing was that, the Doyens helped led the people to oust the aberrants, right?
You make a good point.
So
you need to. If we said, I don't want you to take point on talking with them.
I'm thinking if we do this, then we could pull in the Novacore people, have them be able to give us, some support if they have any, you know, aberrants that might be able to help and like run protection. And also pass it off as like, they wouldn't be exposing them because we're exposing all of this.
Given their attitude, they might like this information being something they know and also out in the world.
The delicate needle to thread. But I trust you, Frankie.
Very uncomfortable with the thought of, well, do you want me to set up a meeting for you and Mala, and y'all can hash it out?
You're the one that's friendly with her.
Friendlies, I have their contact information. Friendly's overstating it, but again,
You don't
I can
like
set up a
me.
meeting. Well, and, that society's lost and all, but you're a lot more persuasive in this kind of thing than I am.
I can try to be. I mean, if you guys aren't down for it, I get it. Like, it's a big ask.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I might be ducking responsibility a little bit here. I don't like this.
I don't either, but I am willing to. I mean, so long as my mom doesn't find out about it, maybe I can like look the other way and we are kind of looking at a bigger picture thing here.
There might be another option. No one that I'm less comfortable with, other than going to the Nova Corps people. We could go to them, the Aeon people.
Seems like they've been keeping a lid on stuff, not spreading it around. I don't think they. I honestly think that was the second threat after the Doyen showing up to these, not necessarily our continued existence, but the show happening. Unless I'm really misunderstanding the whole thing.
Well, unless I'm misremembering, I thought they were not the ones with the psi orders.
It's true. They're kind of their own thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Aeon. There's a lot of conflicting impulses there because if Aeon is what it says it is, then they would probably be on board with being involved with this, helping you guys out. But Aeon is also a very big organization with a lot of moving parts and is the exact sort of thing that the Doyen would get their hands into. So,
right.
Like, you don't know if you don't know if telling Aeon how many tripwires will be tripped if you get into that. It's very similar to the psi orders. It's not so much that they're directly, there's a direct connection like it is with the psi orders, but Aeon's a big deal. The Doyen would be very stupid if they did not have at least some fingers involved in them as well. And you do not necessarily. I don't think you would have the time to try and ferret out a trustworthy path to probably pretty high up in the Aeon structure to find people who may even know about the Doyen already and thus be more inclined to believe you. Like, you would either have to chew through layers of bureaucracy, each layer threatened by triggering, some surveillance that the Doyen have, or going up to the top and finding someone who, it's a very, very sticky situation to try and get Aeon involved in that.
Fraught. I believe that the correct term is fraught.
Yeah, but they are also probably they have just a ridiculous amount of resources at their disposal of multiple different types. If anyone could get an aberrant / nova or even maybe a quantikinetic, they probably have, someone in Aeon probably has the levers to pull to make that sort of thing happen. But getting to the right lever is fraught.
Yeah.
Just as a plan B, I mean, if this doesn't work, by all means, Frankie, I want you to pursue this, but just in case, what if I got some of insert semi-deliriant substance here and managed to synthesize it into something that we could use if someone who already has a doyen inside them turns up and tries to ruin the show? Make darts or something. I don't know. I'm not the combat person.
That just seems really complicated. So
No. Dots? No, I'm digging this. No, I like this.
I think it's less complicated than climbing up the Aeon hierarchy. But
Yeah.
well,
I
we
don't think
also
that's
have
bad.
the Nova Core option as well.
We do, and okay. If we can have dots, we'll do Nova Core.
Okay.
I want my dots.
I think the darts are an
I
excellent
want
idea.
her to.
Let's get Bram the darts if you can get on working on that, and we'll set up a meeting with Mala for you and me, Frankie.
All right, so let's go for a technology-based milestone to get drug darts, deliriant drug darts going on.
So I wanted to see if I could tap my other contact who I've not used after this project, who's like the dealer.
Sure, yeah, you can
That's
do
fine.
that to get access to the substance, and
Okay.
then we can do a tech milestone to get the dart system set up. So yeah, go ahead and make a path roll to get in contact with that guy.
All right, let's see. And he didn't have a name, so I decided his name is Wiley Wiggins the Sixth.
Wiley Wiggins the Sixth it is.
A 9 and a 10.
Okay.
A 9 and a 10.
Okay, yeah, that he's your guy, so he can get his hands on a like the equivalent of an 8-ball worth of this stuff.
Wholesale.
Yeah, it will be a wealth to purchase.
Oh, okay. I need to borrow some wealth from people.
Yeah, I'll kick some money that way.
They really are for use.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, so you get
Right.
you get a weekend's worth of this stuff, of mind fog.
Which we're going to concentrate into probably 3 clips of darts.
Sure. So that'll be a tech roll.
All right. Does this qualify? Is the milestone? Does it get the enhancement?
It does get the enhancement, yes.
Excellent. All right.
As you're like interfacing with a dart guns regulator to get the right dosage out.
So that is an 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Sorry, I was eating an orange. Yeah, so that works. Yeah, so that one moment down and another milestone. So you're at 9 of 13.
And some shiny new drug darts for Bram.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So it wouldn't be a path roll. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll, Hannah, to get us to basically set the meeting. Pretty easy to do, but it is still kind of a tricky situation. Now, you guys have given them the information that they've asked for, so
Yes.
but there is still some layers of communications that you need to go through to establish a meeting.
There's 3 successes plus the 4 enhancement.
Okay. Well, this is not a milestone.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
is being likable help?
Yes, it does.
Now there's 3 successes and 3 enhancement.
Fantastic. Yeah, you are able to secure a quick meeting with Nala in a relatively out of the way place that can be light on surveillance so that you guys can have a quick chat.
I do invite Jersey to come with us, like piggyback with me and bring the bang board so we can talk through it. But if he wants to,
he's like, so these people are involved with aberrants, you think?
I don't know how much they actually are involved directly with them. That's part of what we're trying to find out. I know that they empathize that not everyone considered an aberrant is what we we might think of as, probably monsters.
I see.
And I tell them about the Nova message from New Eden.
Yeah. I think I'll
I
stay
don't know if they
behind.
know
I don't think I will contribute to this conversation.
it yourself.
So yeah,
I
you
thought
guys.
might just want to listen.
Yeah. You guys meet at an out of the way noodle bar. That seems to be in like an area where the surveillance overlap is a little spotty. And there's kind of a back booth that you guys meet up in. And Nala shows up. She's alone. And she says, "So what's the news? Why did we need to meet?"
Well, we have both a proposal and a request, I suppose. Something y'all might be interested in. Frankie, you wanna run down what we're working on?
Sure. And she would have clarified before the meeting starts that are we going all in?
Everyone's gonna know in a couple of weeks anyway. I don't actually know how long off we were planning on doing this, but everybody's gonna know soon enough. That's nice to not have to mind what we say around everyone.
Cool. She's kind of when she gets the invite into cluing him in. Frankie is gonna kind of pause and then she's gonna lean in, and she goes, "We're about to blow the lid off of the largest conspiracy that we have seen in the modern era.
There's some pretty big conspiracies running around that I know we're working on. I know your group is working on. So that's a tall stack."
I understand.
Isn't it?
So you're familiar with the Psi orders, right?
Oh yeah. We're aware of their efforts to slander and
What
combat.
if I were to tell you that they were manipulated and formed by a group of secretive aliens who have been manipulating humans in all of our facets, and how we reacted to things and how we played our cards, and the ways that they manipulated the Psi orders into manipulating and how to control us for their own means to make sure we didn't become threats.
They took away our natural size psionic abilities and replaced it with the previous chamber so they could control them. They got rid of all the quantum kinetics. Almost all of them, I guess. I kind of shrug. Among other things.
That's
And we're going to make sure the whole world knows about this.
Because that's what they don't want.
That's some real crazy shit.
Got that right.
I mean, if I hadn't been neck deep in crazy shit since, I left high school, I would say that's some nonsense. Why don't you flesh in some of these details and go ahead and give me a persuasion roll to kind of get her on board.
Sure.
And we will call this a milestone of getting them on board to this project.
Cool. Does my striking looks and name in the lights count?
Since your highest source of inspiration is going to be is going to be what's apply, which is 4 from your source. Since we're treating this as a milestone,
I guess that's true.
It'll just be the 4.
Okay, that's fine. So my presence is 5, and my persuasion is 3. I shall roll my 8 dice and be happy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep. And there is momentum if you end up needing it after you roll them.
Gotcha. I am not, as I rolled 9, 10, 9, 8.
Alrighty.
So
So yeah, pulling in a little bit of inspired trickery to kind of like fill in all the gaps and really make a convincing story here. She kind of like leans back and says, "Okay, and you need a Nova to counteract these guys."
that would be
There's
the easiest way to counteract. In case they show up. They may not show up. Wishful thinking, I know.
That's, I mean, well, this does sound pretty big. And I've earned, in my time working with my group, we've got a favor in our back pocket. I can't guarantee it, but I'll call in what I have. And it's not the kind of favor that I can delineate out exactly how it's going to play out.
I think we've worked together enough to trust each other for, to do our best.
So yeah, I'll call in that favor. And I guess, you know, you're gonna, I guess, give me the information on the show and I'll do what I can to hype it out with my people.
Got it. And that leads me to my next question. Do you want the message you shared with us to go out?
Kicking over ants' nests. Go kick them all over.
If you want it out, this is the time to let it out. If you don't, that's cool and I'll respect that. But this is me offering that to you.
I don't know. On the one hand, yeah, I mean, this is probably a pretty good opportunity to do that. But, you know, if this is as big as you say it is, do you really want to mix the message that much, or you really want to like focus on the big thing that you're trying to do? Because that'll look. There's a lot of hate for Novas.
You're not wrong.
And you know, some of, you know, the ones who've gone aberrant, they've earned it, but the ones that stayed true, they still, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to most people. So I think
Gotcha.
People might be
you might be
also. I think you're right. I also think people might be a little more receptive to what you have to say once we, if what we're sharing becomes common.
Yeah, you're right. I think
a lot of people might, once they have one of their ideas about reality that thoroughly challenged, they might be willing to re-examine some other things. I know I've been.
Yeah, maybe the next show.
No problem.
All right, I've got
Thanks for being a
a
part.
very complicated message to send.
Be in touch, let us know if you need anything. We'll keep you up to date on anything going on our end.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to go do that. So, yeah, you have got another milestone achieved, another moment down, so you are
10 of 13?
10 of 13.
Hey,
Hoorah.
Scott, I'm going to buy, while we're kind of in the middle of stuff, I'm going to buy Supreme Divana Edge, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, if you got
so
the
I can have
XP
that
for it.
ready for once we get close to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be the next session, basically.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely buy that. Yeah, so you got achieved that milestone. You got hopefully a pretty big ace up your sleeve in terms of directly confronting the Doyen. Back at the ranch, what are Bram and Mice up to in terms of getting this project together?
Dosing ourselves with the extra material from the dart. No, just kidding.
I mean,
We got to know what they're like before we start firing them into people.
Nice.
I probably will practice, and honestly, of all of the entirety of the crew, Mice probably is the best person to hit with a drunk full of drugs.
Mhm.
So I'm going to, I think, practice if we have like a dummy round essentially that's
Mhm.
kind of got the dregs of whatever we had, and like we're gonna cut right back to me, just kind of like pointing across the room, like down to him. All right, just hold still.
But if I'm a Doyen, I'm not going to hold still.
Yeah.
All right, then try to move. I don't know. Get ready or don't. Yeah, you're right. I should just go ahead and boom, and just I shoot him.
Oh, yeah, you take a dart to the dart to the chest. And
Ow.
yeah, it's for like these
Oh,
darts
yeah.
are like pretty quick acting, so yeah, you just sort of feel just a little fuzzy, you know? Like you only get like a low dose of it, but yeah, your mind's a little hard to track for a bit.
Just for flavor, I think mice would react to this by using their newfound energetics power to like change the gravity around them into light or something, and just be there for like an hour.
Very cool. All right, so y'all are just messing around. So yeah, things are a little weird when Frankie and Hannah come back. A little less gravity, a little more light. Mice is on the couch, fuzzed out a little bit. But yeah,
What did you guys do?
Good practice.
We saw the other side of time.
again.
Nice, you want off the ride, or are you cool?
All good.
All right.
All good.
All right. Well, so Paula's gonna try and call in favors for us. We'll see how it goes, but they seem happy to be on board.
Hmm.
Hey, Frankie, you got anybody else from the Tamrika Cave folk you could talk to about this, or is that tapped out at this point?
Last time I checked, they are still underground.
Makes sense.
You could try and make a path roll. However, this one will be at an enhanced difficulty to try and get word from them.
I would love to do that. So how does one make a path check?
So path roll is you roll you put a dice pool together using your path rating with that path and an attribute.
Okay.
Like I said, this is going to be at a +2 difficulty. So you'll need to get 3 successes in order to achieve it a basic success.
Ooh, all right. Okay. So I have no, that was just that was secret. Sorry, I had the edge revelation
Yeah.
K.
And that
So
gets
my path rating is 1 and witnesses, and I would like to use, I guess, my manipulation
okay.
and so that would give me a total of 5 dice. Does my Enigma's specialty of compromising information apply?
I would let that apply. Yeah. So what? How many dots of enigmas do you have?
I have 3 dots in Enigmas.
Okay, so that'll give you 1 enhancement.
Yes. Cool. So I'm rolling 5 dice. Are you guys okay with me using a momentum?
Yeah, and once again, you can
Absolutely.
wait until after you roll to spend that
Gotcha.
and roll the die, which is
That is
more
fair.
efficient.
So I have an 8 and a 9, then 4s and 3s. So I have 2 successes with 1 enhancement, which gives me to the base success of 3.
So yeah, that will give you a basic success if you want, because I judge path rolls on a bit more of an exponential scale. If you want to try and get more successes, that would be a thing you could do, but that's up to you.
How much momentum do we have?
You currently have 3.
You guys okay with me using 2?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it would be useful to have that. 1 extra one.
1 extra success. Okay, so you got a total.
8 and a 2.
So you got 1 over the difficulty. Cool. So what are you sending to them?
basically, what I am sending to them is I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Have a line. Basically, I have a line on blowing the lid on some of our on some secrets. Want to know if you all want in and can help. And basically, as kind of like paying the toll, so to speak, of basically like part of the information is I'm going to put the informations about oh goodness, what is my kind called? The
Talents.
The talents.
Paramorph is the word. Yeah.
Paramorphs. I'm going to include the information about the paramorphs, and with the adage of this is just the tip of the iceberg. This goes way deeper.
Okay. It takes a little bit because you're bouncing messages back to Earth. But you get kind of a cryptic but affirmative response. And like they basically say that they can't get directly involved because they've got the United Nations and the Norsa on their ass. But like they can plan some like simultaneous actions to like they can if you give them like a date and a time that they can like support in terms of like distraction or supplementary protests or actions or something that can kind of like because they're you're their agent on the moon.
Right.
So if like you want stuff like they can try and do some stuff that will have some synergistic effect Earthside.
So what if it's possible, what she would like them to do is basically to kind of lodge a protest, but not really lodge a protest so much as take over a certain area and broadcast the show.
Okay, yeah, I mean they can do stuff like that. They can incorporate that as long as you like provide them with a feed that they can get. So yeah, like that like Marty is working on getting some Earthside Bang venues to kind of like mirror the performance as well. So you can kind of like this would be like this is going on in bang clubs, but the witnesses can get this out into the streets.
Yes, that's what I want them to do.
So yeah, they're on board. They're ready to receive the information, and they can get the message out into the streets. Cool. All right.
Also, what I'm going to do is once we go live with the Bang Show, the witnesses are getting a copy of all of our information on the doorman.
Cool. Awesome.
Basically, as in, if our Bang Show for whatever reason doesn't go off, the witnesses still have the information and it can still get out there.
Awesome. Yeah, you set that up. Like they definitely want to know what you know, but they're in a pickle. So that kind of like dead man switch is a really good thing to have set up. All right, so you've got 3 more milestones that you guys need to accomplish. Some of the things that you probably want to do is like working on promotion from your end of things. Probably wouldn't hurt to do some more security stuff like Bram, you worked on some more like trap based stuff, but like some actual like technical security setups and other things might be a good thing to set up. And
if you want, Bram, we could talk to my dad about getting some security. Or we could go talk to your peeps about getting some physical security as well.
I mean, that is the good question because they are technically like you guys are still under contract with them. If you're going to be using that space, then they
I think what is it, the Vikings?
The Vikings.
Yeah.
I would go to the Vikings first, and that's what I will suggest.
Yeah. Well, you
That
have
works.
the group has a point of contact with them.
Yeah.
But
I will say that if we need funding, Dad said we could have funding. So if they're wanting a price tag within, you know how to get us a good deal, but I can get us the funds if
all
you
right.
can get us the
So
contract.
here's how we'll handle this. We'll make this a larceny roll to manage kind of like the backdoor underground crime math to get organizatia funding into the Vikings' hands to provide a prominent physical security setup.
All right.
So that'll be a larceny roll from somebody.
I can do it or you can do it.
I've got dice pool of 7.
All right. I have a dice pool of, let's see here. I have a dice pool. Would I be able to use presents? Because then I would have 7 as well. But so it's up to you. If you want it, go for it.
I don't have much in the way of like anything else wild, so
Actually, let me
Oh.
pitch something. Would my lackey's specialty apply?
The highest source of your enhancement is probably unless it provides more than 4 enhancement.
Sorry, I keep forgetting.
That's fine.
How many lackeys do you have?
I think it's more that she's good with dealing with lackeys.
I'm good at dealing with lackeys.
Yeah, so if someone wants to make that larceny roll to get all that set up.
Can you make that roll, or did you just make the roll previously?
I can't make that roll. I haven't made it yet.
Okay,
Do you
then
want
go
me to?
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
All right. So it's going to be 7 dice. Rolly, rolly, roll. 9, 10, 9, 3, 2, 7, 7. So 3 dice, or 3 successes and re-rolling 1. 4 successes.
Awesome.
Plus-
So with the 4 enhancement, you're able to overcome that milestone. And yeah, so you basically have the money. The money gets transferred through ways that won't cause a gang war. To basically fund a pretty hefty security detail, which. So here's my thoughts on like how like this is gonna shake out, because you're going to be co-locating. Probably the most secure way of dealing with this is to not have anyone be coming to your show physically. Like, people are going to be coming through, like, the teleportational aspects of it. But you can,
Right.
like, blocking off your bang site and just not letting anybody in probably would be the most secure. And you have the dudes and the funding to make that happen. But
Then
if you
that's
want...
what-
As long as one of the Doyen doesn't hitch a ride in one of those dudes.
That's true.
Well, that's a risk we're going to have to take.
Indeed. So yeah, basically that kind of also takes care of like if you guys want to do any promotion, there's no one's going to come to your show. Like it's a little weird, but you will have people there.
Play into an empty room.
Yeah, you play well empty, but people will be
Yeah.
there bilocated across the stars,
Yeah.
and you will
You
have.
still need to promote for them, though.
Yes.
You're pretty sure Marty's taking care of that. But you probably, since you are going to be like,
I mean, I'll work on the hike some for one of mine.
I'll tell. Okay, here's another good milestone. Since you're not going to have people physically there, you're going to want to set up like a media feed, like an OpNet feed, so that local people can see the show as it's happening.
Right.
So how does that work with the Muzzy aspect of the show? Or are we just kind of hand wiping that?
Like you could. Well, okay. Let's say, yeah. Let's make a technology roll. It won't be like as effective as being there. So you can like wire your bang board into a OpNet feed. And
This is something Mice probably knows how to do now.
probably does, yeah. So if Mike wants to make a tech roll to basically add another output to the OpNet feed so that this can and like so that people can play this on like personal bang equipment, like you like
Like a VR experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, VR experience or whatnot, and probably another role. There would probably be a persuasion role to make deals with other bang clubs to basically remotely have it. So like, due to enhanced security risks, we're not allowing access to our physical sites. However, you can go to this club, this club, this club, and this club. To get.
Anna, do you want the persuasion roll?
Oh, I can do that if you want to do the technology.
Yeah. And these are these two separate milestones?
Yeah, these are going to be two separate milestones.
Okay. Permission to spend momentum.
And you can, but it's probably better to do it after you roll.
Yeah, I have one success. That's what I'm
okay,
asking.
shit.
So,
Go for it.
how much do we have left? I guess I only need one. Right?
Yeah, it's a die. It's an additional die roll, so you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have 3.
How many?
You can spend 2.
Permission to spend 2, yo.
Go for it.
Yay, another success.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you managed to wire up an OpNet feed that can go to Frankie's people down on Earth, and it can get like mirrored in various other bang clubs. It'll be of a diminished result because they won't be in like the physical presence of the bang board, which really kind of like bridges that gap. But the message will get out there, and people can be a part of the experience. Since you're pretty sure Marty's going to be promoting this, and yeah, so you're getting this out in multiple facets. But you do need to make a persuasion roll to get.
I got 2 successes plus the 4 enhancement on that.
Awesome.
And I'll just kind of go to the various because I probably since I'm not on stage, I'm kind of like talking to staff and stuff. So I probably got, if they're not path contacts, at least ends around. So I'm going to lean on that to.
Awesome. All right.
Around.
So you guys are getting all of this coming together, but you still have one more milestone left. Does anyone have anything that they want to pitch for that? Or do you want me to come up with something?
I kind of thought a test run would be like not a fully live out to the OpNet test run, but just like testing it out for ourselves in the space, just to see how it goes.
People who know about it to watch it remotely.
Yeah.
Like get Marty to give us some feedback, Marty and all or whoever to give us some feedback.
As long as we know that Marty doesn't have a doyen in there.
But we gotta trust someone.
Mice has like gone into full paranoid mode at this point.
If they had the doyen in their head, they probably wouldn't be like sitting back watching. They'd be coming for us.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys want to try and do a test run? Or
yeah, do we have? Yeah, how soon are we planning to do this? Like, are we gonna basically pull the trigger real soon, or do we have a date set that we've been?
You don't have a date set because there's a lot of like external logistics going on. Somewhere within a week probably. Like Marty expects to have a date set within the next couple of days.
In that case, I do ask them to help us with to be our audience for a test run, help us find any rough patches.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and make this a culture roll to kind of bring it all together and go through a test run of the experience.
Do you want me to do it, or do you guys want to?
6 dice.
Yeah, me too.
I think if Hannah's the one who's going to be like manning the bang board, probably Hannah should be the one who does it.
I think Hannah should do it.
Cool.
I'll try my best. All right. Wow. Never had that happen before. So on 6 dice, I got 5 8s and a 9.
Nice. All right. So yeah, you guys wrap all the prep work for this performance in a pretty little bow. You got it. 13 moments. 13 moments. Took you 13 moments and to take care of it. So yeah, you guys are as prepped as you think you can be. You've got it all set up. You've got the venue taken care of. You've got the security. You've got the book. You've got some live stuff planned. You've got feeds going out to Earth and all other different, and a bunch of different Luna Bang clubs so that everyone can see it. And yeah, you guys are ready to go. You're just sort of waiting on a date.
All right, guys. I think we should get real drunk tonight. And I think tomorrow we need to go get those people out of that simulation in case the Doyen attack and kill us all during our show.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about them. Do you think they want to get drunk too?
All right, let's reverse that order and go get them first.
Okay, yeah. So I believe the progress on that was that essentially you were building up funds to buy 20 like gaming oriented SIs to essentially fulfill the functions that the people are doing in the
and
system.
They also, and they actually gave us access to their accounts that have been being paid into. So
It was.
I think we just had to go do it.
Yeah, the you were basically gaining access to those accounts in a way that does not trip any questions about such things. So it was kind of a slow process. But like that's kind of been running in the background while you've been offering it. So yeah, you've got a line on these SIs, you've got the funds from these people to take care of it. So yeah, you're able to buy them up and like load them up on little data cards that presumably you should be able to plug into the Terra Surge box and get the people out. So yeah, I suppose you get in contact with Chewie, Miss Liam?
Yeah. Send Chewie a text.
It's
probably just a string of emoji and then like
she understands that and welcomes you back and sets up a transport down. You guys are able to make your who all's going with this? Is everybody going or is anyone staying behind?
I was definitely going to go because I want to try to de-age them somewhat.
Mice is definitely going.
If they want that.
Bram would probably want to stay up here.
I can go down there if you think it would help, like negotiate, but that's really kind of a you guys thing. I think
I don't know what negotiate what to do.
Frankie might want to go over and see her dad and bring her dad up to speed.
Okay.
And that said, some of them might not have. There's like 5 people now. You might not all have a place to go, so we might have some people crashing with us for a bit. Not gonna let them be homeless on the moon.
All right, that's fine. Then you go do that. I'm going to go ahead and go fill my dad in.
Okay. Bram, are you going with her, or are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'll go with Frankie.
Okay. All right. So we'll do this pretty montage because you guys have all your cards in line, all your chips in your pocket. So there's not going to be much in the way of complications for this. So Hannah and Mice, you guys go down. You've got the SIs. You do a little bit of jury rigging, install it into the system, and like Chewie, and like you notice like Chewie is much more sort of back to normal in your interactions with her. It's almost like having a space monster hijacked into her system, like perverting her function. Not having that anymore is really good. So she is more than cooperative with you guys, helps you guys set up these like basically gaming bots to fulfill the functions, and she is able to release the data locks that are keeping them in there, to preventing them from logging out. And you guys are able to send messages into the system. And they, as soon as they are aware of and are capable of doing so, one after the other, they log the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm kind of there on hand to like, as any of them like wake up, like, I'm just some kid, but I'm trying to like, all right, give them a medical check over, help them with dealing with being back in the physical body as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, the chairs that they were in were like sustaining them, keeping their muscles and their bodies from atrophying.
That's good.
Like it's not like they're not like waking up out of the Matrix. So there's not like a lot of work, but you do have to kind of like it wasn't perfect. Like it wasn't keeping them in like perfect shape. So yeah, definitely you're able to ease them through the process. And yeah, getting them more healthy. Like I'm presuming that you like brought them some real food and that sort of thing.
I probably packed a picnic.
Okay, cool.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
So
It's brought nourishment.
here, eat these mushrooms.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys are able to ease them out of their confinement, and they are very happy, very appreciative. And you know are sort of very eager to not be in this room anymore. Back up on the surface of the moon, Frankie and Bram, you guys go back over. The people let you in very easily. You're able to sort of like coordinate with Giuseppe a little bit, and you guys are able to sit and have a long chat with your father. And Maria has questions as well. Are you going to let her be in on this conversation?
No.
Okay.
She will answer Maria's questions, but that is a separate discussion.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and are you going to be basically just unloading on Dad the full scoop?
Oh, yeah. Dad wanted to know what the hell I've been up to. Well, Dad's about to know.
Okay, so you're holding nothing back with Dad?
I am holding nothing back with Dad.
All right, yeah.
And I'll be on hand to demonstrate, my own SIAD capacity as the story as the story beats allow for that, at dramatically or thematically appropriate moments.
Yeah, Dad just kind of takes it all in. Like he really kind of like, there are times when you can tell he's not quite buying it, but he's as it goes on and as you're able to like present all the data, he kind of like is forced to believe that you're mostly knowing what you're talking about.
Yup. Surprise. Long and short of it, Dad, I've been up to some shit.
You have. This is some heavy shit, kid. And you're about to kick over a big old anthill with these Doyen fuckers then, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's the only way to get to them. They don't want to be seen. So I'm going to make sure that they're seen.
Well, if something wants to hide, then best to show it the light of day, I say. That's a good plan. Well, Giuseppe tells me we're spending a bunch of money in ways that I probably would be angry about, so let's just leave it at that. What about after all this? What are you going to do with yourselves? Because
I don't know.
If you weren't my daughter or my daughter's friend, and I came upon two people like you, I'd want to exploit the shit out of them. Now, obviously, I'm not going to try make a play for that, because that would be unseemly. But there are plenty of people out there in my line of work who have no such scruples.
I think all of the things being equal, and assuming we can pull this off, that maybe some new identities are in order, and just laying low. There's a lot of places out in the universe to be quiet in, you know?
Lay low.
Yeah.
Nah. This is what I do. This is what I am. I'm an
Yeah.
artist.
And you gotta paint the biggest target on yourself imaginable.
Yeah. I knew that going in.
Well, I go where you go, so yeah.
Well, I'll do what I can to help the after. But, yeah.
There's
Hell of a
still more there's still more things that need to be exposed. There's still more things that are out there that people need to know about. And part of what I do is get that message out there.
Well, I've learned long ago that it's hard to divert you from where you feel you need to go. But I gotta agree with young Abraham here. There's gonna be targets on you, so you need to think about that. I don't want you. I don't want you near my people because there'll be people who will use you wrong. But you need to think about where you're gonna land. But that's for another time. I have some planning and some thinking to do about all this now that my head's getting clearer. Why don't we have some dinner?
Are you feeling better?
I'm getting there. Maria and I've checked with her, talked with her. She's got a lot of questions, and I'm sure you are going to tell her at least some version of this. At least I would hope so. She's family after all.
Yeah, I can do that.
But yeah, things are getting clearer, and I am very pissed off. But for now, why don't we have some dinner? Think I can put some serious ziti down.
She kind of looks over at Bram. She's like, "Do you want to fill your mom in?"
Now, I believe you've told her what you are. Like you did have that conversation, but like the full story, not so much.
With that and her undergoing the pattern restoration, I kind of feel like she's been through enough for right now.
Okay.
So no, she knows I'm going to be continuing to do wild and crazy stuff. But I do know that if she somehow were to ask me about aberrance, I wouldn't be able to lie to her. So I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna talk to her. I think until it's all over, and then I'll
talk to her then. I
then I'll
understand.
talk
That's
to her.
fine.
Okay, I do just want to clarify. When you said everything, did you include the potential of Nova/Aberrant being involved in your plan?
Oh, that's a good point. He's
Oh.
really anti them. Nah. Nah.
He's a child of the crash, so.
Mm-mm.
All right, so you do
Nope.
not include that about it.
Mm-mm.
All right. So that's good
Better
because
to ask forgiveness and permission.
he would have some things to say about that. So he pulls the dad card to insist that you guys have dinner with him.
Oh yeah.
And we are going to move the camera away as you guys are all celebrating and planning and filling your bellies. We're moving the camera back to a place that you guys haven't been in a while. Back to the FSA arcology, where the Liberty lads had. Oh, is that what their name was? Yeah, I think they were the Liberty
Or the
Lads.
lads.
Oh, yeah,
La-
yeah, our rivals, yes.
yeah, the Liberty Lads, your rivals, had their show. And we move up through the arcology into a pretty spacious but, not luxurious apartment where the three members of the Liberty Lads are not in the best of shape. The one who's renamed himself Tony is just kind of he's got kind of a conspiracy board laid out over like the kitchen table, like plan fuck Wonder Root engaged. The other two are like involved in this process, but not as deeply as he is. And he's like ranting and pointing his finger at a picture of Frankie. And they're like there's a pile of things with like OpNet posts about new show from Wonder Root happening soon, like all sorts of things. And like as he's like turning to them and chastising them for not being committed to the band and what the band needs to do to restore its honor, they all kind of take a gasp as all their eyes start to glow.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that is where we'll end it all for this session of Trinity Continuum Aeon Luna Rocks. Does anyone have anything they would like to plug before we head out?
I'd like to.
Sure.
Oh, you first. No. I insist.
Really, it's more just a bit of inspiration. It's a great big crazy world out there. We are finally into both hurricane season and fire season, and at least two of your folks here on the stream live in Florida, and we all know folks who are out west, and so just this time of year is always a little crazy. Just keep positive, be there for one another, and the only thing that helps us get through the darkness is each other. So love one another.
And before we go further down the flood train, we should probably do XP.
Oh yeah.
So, did anyone achieve a short-term aspiration?
I did.
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. So those who achieve the short-term aspiration get 1 XP per aspiration. You do not get the group one. However, you did all spend half the momentum pool, so you do get an additional one. No, I don't think you did a story milestone just yet, seeing as we are reaching the end of the story. So
Base XP is 2.
So yeah, I believe that would be what.
Base is 2.
Yeah, base is 2. And so that'll be the XP that you get. All right. So continuing on the plug train after that bit of logistics.
So I just wanted to briefly shout out once again, Changeling the podcast. We're wrapping up the first half of season 2, where we're going through the second edition of Changeling the Dreaming. So if it's something that interests you, stop by changelingthepodcast.com and have a listen. Or you can find us on most podcast platforms. And I will also say Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Yes, indeed. Happy Pride.
It's a nice counterpart to the hurricanes and the fires.
Yay.
It is Happy Pride and Happy Black Music Month.
Oh, yeah, it's that too, isn't it?
Nice.
Murphy, Diane, do you have anything that you need to plug?
Happy Pride.
Other than hopefully our listeners that are listening, I know it's just, I didn't know where I was going with that. Sorry, my brain is addled. But hopefully you all will, realize that your LGBTQ plus community plus your minority communities really need your support right now. So if you are able to lend your voice to them, I highly recommend it. Those reflect my opinions that they need our support now more than ever.
Absolutely.
Wholeheartedly agree.
All right. I actually have quite a few things that I need to plug. First and foremost, this Monday is going to be the premiere of Trinity Continuum Adventure, The Undesirables. which our friend Murphy is a part of. It is an in-costume, in-studio, 6-part miniseries for adventure that is all about cryptids and Nazi punching. So if you want to see some fictional Nazis get just brutalized, this is the show for you. And also if you like Sasquatch and other stuff, there's something for everybody. So that is premiering on Monday. It's going to be premiering on the Onyx Path channel, and then alternate Mondays is going to be on the Simulacra channel. The weekend of June 16th through the 18th is Onyx Path Con, the virtual con, at which Simulacra Studios is going to be a partner channel, where all the Trinity Continuum actual plays are going to be streamed. 3 of which I will be running, 1 of which I will be playing in. I will be playing in Adventure, and I will be running Aeon and Anima, and a 3rd one that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about right now, but if you're astute, you might catch what that one is. So that is coming up. And finally, the good old standby. If you would like to support the show and the channel, you can follow us on Twitch and YouTube at Simulacra TV. You can follow the studio on Twitter at Simulacra RPGs. But the best way to support us would be to go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios, where you can sign up to be a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to our private Discord, which gives you communication channels to all past and present cast members, myself, and early access to casting calls if you ever want to play on one of our shows. And I think that is great. Not exactly sure where we're going to have our next session of this game, but it will be the last session when we do. So keep an eye on our Twitter and other social media to know when the next and last session is going to be. Been a good, fun time playing with y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.